All right, Melody, you got another new book there? Is that what you got? We got lots of new books. Which one you got there?
Oh, How Not to
yeah,
Die.
Yeah, we're on the air.
Oh, oops. Another blooper out there. I'm sorry, I just get so enthralled.
She gets so consumed, just like it.
It's like, can I read and talk at the same
mind.
time? It's like, I don't remember ever reading as much as I read now.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I read. Maybe it's because I know I have shorter time left on the earth, so I'm just trying to pack it in there.
There was a post and it had all these things that successful people do versus people who are unsuccessful.
I seen that.
Successful people read every day.
Every
Unsuccessful people watch TV every day.
And use electronics.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and most people that are successful do not play video games.
This book just came out.
Yes, and look how big, this is a big book.
That's Michael Greger. He used to be with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine with Dr. Neil Bernard?
Neil Bernard.
So, and then he got his own gig going with, what was the name of that thing? Nutritionalfacts.org, I think you can go to. Nutritionalfacts.org. Go to that, website and click on it, and they'll send you health videos and newsletters every day if you want, every week. You can kind of decide what you want. But yeah, that's a fabulous book.
I wake up, Melody. I was reading here about tart cherries because, I hurt my knee earlier this year. And silly me, jogging way too much, and I didn't even stretch. And I refused to go in and do surgery on something that I know I can heal this knee on my own. And I started to drink tart cherry juice. And he's talking right here about its effect for inflammation.
Yeah.
And that's what we can use natural things. So many foods, Mark.
This is a well-rounded book. It's got a lot of different things in it that you would never get from a normal book.
Oh, I seen something in here right away when I opened up the book, and I was surprised. Mortality in the United States, we have currently, and I don't know how currently is that they've checked this, but coronary heart disease, we lose 375,000 people to death. They succumb to the heart disease every year. 375,000.
And that's number one.
Number one, we've got lung disease, COPD, we've got other disease, Alzheimer's, and we know a lot about Alzheimer's.
Now, how many, if you had a guess, how many of those 375,000 coronary heart disease patients how many of those deaths could have been prevented?
I would venture to say, and I'm not a professional, but if you had Dr. Esselstyn or one of them in here, they'd probably say over to 75%.
I think they'd say 99%.
Probably.
That's what I'm guessing. 99% of those people did not have to die from coronary heart disease. Yeah. People, it's all diet. It is all diet, and once in a while you'll get a oddball out there, but
well, sure. I mean, you can be born with a defect.
Yeah, good book. Starch Solution, another good book. McDougall Program, another good book. Low Carb Myth, another good book. Simply Yummy, another good book. You can get this one at your local bookstores. Order today.
You can call me.
Yes, this is Melody Prettyman's cookbook right here. In fact, I think what we need to do, this is available on the websites and everything, so I think what we need to do is get in the kitchen and do some cooking.
Find something to cook that's yummy.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, how we doing there today? I'm doing a little bit of homework, and this is my homework station. This is my workstation. This is my radio voiceover station. This is where I do a lot of the work. Kind of feel like this is my second home right here. And I'm just looking at a couple books, and I wanted to share some books with you. One of the books here is called Move Over Milk, Moove, Move Over Milk. And this was written by, I think it was Vicki. Was it Vicki Griffin, I believe? She hides her name because she's such a humble lady. Vicki B. Griffin and Dane Griffin. And it's just a really good book. It was like under $10 on Amazon, and really has a lot of depth about milk and depth of information. So that's a good book. And this one here, which I've read a few times, The End of Overeating by David Kessler. Now, David Kessler, the head of the Food and Drug Administration, for years, he, double doctorate too. I mean, really genius guy. and talking about how we need to eat whole foods and natural foods and get away from these processed foods, and talking about how scientists actually have specific ways that they manufacture food to make it more addictive. And all the restaurants, fast food restaurants, and even some of the sit-down diner restaurants actually hire scientists to make their food addictive. And so he shows you all those strategies and some trigger things that you can do to be successful in catching some of those things and not. So, End of Overeating by David Kessler, another go-to book. Of course, I've got one of my my real detailed books here, which is Reversing Diabetes with Fork and Knife. And this is from Hans Diehl. If you don't know who Hans Diehl is, he's the head of the Coronary Health Improvement Project, which is a global program that has literally saved hundreds of thousands of lives all over the world. And so Hans, I've done a couple things with him personally, and I'll tell you what a fabulous man and what a fabulous job he has done. God has inspired him to take a health message out to the world, and he has done a fabulous job of doing that. And so that's Hans Diehl's book, and I've got a whole rack full of books over here, by the way. I mean, it's wall to wall. So, of course, The China Study with T. Colin Campbell. That's another really good book, and I'm getting through it. Haven't read the whole thing yet. Still working on that one because it's so much knowledge. I mean, this thing has just got a lot of that science information that takes a little more patience to filter through all that. But it's a good book. So, Forks Over Knives has a book now. The actual plan, a 4-week meal-by-meal makeover. And so it actually gives you some detail with recipes and things like that. And so I like that one. Recipes with some education about food and how and why you eat food. Kind of the way I write my books. And of course, I wrote my books after I saw this one, but might give me some good ideas to do the next couple books that I'm working on. So Forks Over Knives book is a really good one. And so there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of good books, and there's a lot of bad books too. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over, I've got a few pages on the internet that I want to share with you of some books to read and ones not to even bother with. But the main thing you have to do is, we need discernment. Pray for discernment. Probably more than anything else in the world, we have to have discernment. And that's where you get godly wisdom and godly knowledge. It gives you the common sense. It gives you the Holy Spirit that will help you make those right decisions. I pray for discernment more than anything, probably. I really do. Guilty as charged, yeah. And but I'm telling you, you got to have discernment because there is so much false information out there, and there's so many things that are just so deceptive out there. And without discernment, you will be deceived. There's a lot of things out there. You're going to find that there's a lot of truth mingled with error. And so, and Satan's the one doing all this. I'm not blaming any particular organizations or people or anything like that. Satan's job, he does a very good job of mingling truth with error. And he'll have a lot of truth out there and then have all these false errors of lies. And you see, the better the lie is presented, the more absurd the truth is going to sound. It's just that way. The better the lie is presented, the more absurd the truth is going to sound. And one of the things that Satan does in order to present the lie better, one thing is fragmentation. He actually fragmentizes things in fragments over and over and over and over and over. And right now, we are in this fragmentized society, especially with Facebook and Twitter and all these social networks. And the more you see it over and over and over, eventually you're going to believe it. It can be a full-blown lie, and it's a lie, but if you hear it 50,000 times, you're going to believe that it's actually truth. So fragmentation is a huge tool that Satan uses. The other one is what I'm talking about with truth mingled with error. And all they have to do is have a little bit of truth. Satan will do this all the time. He does it in churches, with doctrines of truth and things like this. He'll have different truths within a certain church, and then he'll have a few lies mingled in with it. So you're very deceived. But he does it with the food, the health message for what I talk about. There's lots of times that people will have a health message out there, whatever the case might be, and there's a lot of truth to it, but then there's lie, deception, and that's where Satan can come in and grip you into that unhealthy lifestyle with you not even knowing it, thinking that you're doing the right healthy things, and it really isn't. So there's a lot of that going on. But that's why I pay attention. That's why you've got me to filter through a lot of this stuff and really show you what is truth and what is error, what is lies, and what is deception. And so that's what we do. We're going to go to a couple cooking clips, and then I'm going to come back and show you some really interesting books to read, not to read, and I've got a whole bunch of doctors I want to share with you as well. So you can really get that education from the right people. So let's go to the clips and we'll be right back.
Hi, Mark and Melody in the kitchen again, where we're making something that is so delicious and simple.
I have no idea what she's got me stirring over here.
I like it. I like it that way.
It smells good.
It does smell good. These are portobellos.
Okay.
That we diced up, we put some onion in there and sauteed it in water because I don't like to use oil. I want to make it just as healthy as possible. And Mark, what I'd like for you to do, he's been sauteing them for about how long now?
Just 10 minutes. Just
10 minutes?
put the water in and reduced. So
Put the
there's
lid
still
on
some
it?
water in there.
That's
So,
okay. That's okay. Why don't you add a little bit of that taco seasoning there, your favorite taco seasoning. Oh yeah.
Is that enough?
A little more.
A little more?
There you go.
Yeah, the one thing you want to do though when you check those taco seasonings in the stores, find the ones that don't have the
Silicon.
whey.
There is
There's
whey.
a whole bunch of them now that are made with whey, which is your animal byproduct sludge that used to get thrown away,
Whey.
but they found out that people would spend top dollar for it. And actually the manufacturers get it like pennies on the dollar.
I know.
And it's just filler. They put it in everything nowadays.
I've got a little bit of tomato paste in there, Mark.
Okay.
Want to put a little shot
And,
of that in there? Just give it some color.
Oh yeah, see that's gonna actually make a huge difference. I'll put a little more in.
Okay. If they need to add some water, you need water, you can put just a little bit in there. I don't fry my food, I sweat my food. So I do, look at that, look at the
You
steam.
sweat your food.
I sweat my food. Steam coming off it like a steam room where you just sweat the food instead of frying it.
Well, and this is taco meat, so you don't want it watery.
No. We want to be able to use it. Now, and what we have here are two good whole grain tortillas, soft tortillas. We're making soft tacos, but you can use the hard shells, whichever you like. Looking good, looking good.
Doesn't that look good?
It does look good. See how it tastes.
You were grabbing a spoon for me, weren't you?
I'm gonna spoon here.
I wanted to taste it first.
How's it taste?
Really good.
And then the
It's
texture.
a little tomatoey.
Okay, so you can use tomatoes.
So I probably just put a little too much in there.
a little
or-
too much. You could have put just a tablespoon and a little water.
If we added just a pinch of sugar or a pinch of salt,
Right.
it would take it away. Or if you cooked this for about 5 or 10 minutes, I think if you just let it set
Okay,
for about 10, 15 minutes, it would
it would absorb it.
immediately take the acidity out of here and make it taste normal.
Sure.
So, but for time's sake, we're just gonna pan it up right now. But I would actually just set this aside, put the lid on it, and boom.
And let it set. Okay,
Yeah, and then it'd be perfect.
but I want you to put some there.
Just giving you my honest opinion. I know what I'm supposed to say is,
That is
it's
just
so
amazing."
good.
And just like that too, Mark. Just like that.
Exactly. All right. I love doing these tacos this way, where you plop them up in the middle, and you can do them on both sides. It's one of those artistic things that we've done in culinary for years, and it just has a good-looking approach to it. So,
Oh, you know me when it comes to look, Mark. It's all about eating with your eyes.
But this was actually fairly fast and easy, rich
Mm-hmm,
in flavor. You've got your nutrients from the.
Now, Mark, I'm using a couple products here. Some people might not be familiar with. I know you and I are. But this is
Tofutti.
sour cream. And it's my favorite vegan sour cream replacement. And I love it. You don't need
That
much.
and the cream cheese. They got a cream cheese that's really good
They
too.
do. And I just want to add a few here. And one of my new favorite things in the whole world, because I eat a lot of salsa, folks, and I like Texas salsa. I'm not prejudiced about my salsa, am I, Mark? But have you tasted this yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is Mateo's, and it's made in Texas.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. Frisco, I do believe. Wow, this product is amazing to me. I love it.
It's actually one of the best that I've seen in a lot of restaurant quality.
Yes, it tastes like the salsa you would get with your chips
Right.
in the restaurant. But did you notice the ingredients? There's no sugar, there's no oil, there's no preservatives.
Wow.
It's a
Nice.
great product.
Nice.
It is.
Man, we might have to give them a call.
We will give them
Would
a
you
call.
please send us a case for sampling?
There you go. Two. One for
Yeah.
me and one for him.
Yeah. One jar for me and the rest for
Case
you.
for me, yes, that'll work.
Yeah.
Because I use it on my baked potatoes. I use salsa on many, many things. But here it is. Look at this. Beautiful tacos. So healthy for you. No meat.
Fast, easy.
And the reason why I like portobello's, Mark, and I've used rice too, I like the texture. To me, it replicates beef, you know, the texture that beef has, the chewiness of it.
Meteor.
Meteor.
Yeah.
Meteor. So there's our Meteor vegan portobello soft tacos.
The tomato is already,
Already absorbed.
disappearing that acidic tomato flavor.
Good.
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all, but you do need to let that rest for a
Good.
few
Let it
minutes
rest.
before you serve it.
Okay. I have a feeling you'll be
Fabulous.
resting on those.
They're mine. There you go. And I guess that's it.
That's
We
it.
will see you next time in the kitchen. All right, we're back and we're talking about books and doctors and what books to read and probably more importantly, what books not to read. There's so many books out there that are just filled with false information, and so we want to make sure we get you the good books. And this right here is from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and I love this. 5 diet books that are worse than coal in your stocking. So these are the 5 books not to read, or that are just that bad for you, I guess. Let's just go right down here to number 1. I've got a lot of information to go through, so we're going to get right into this. Number 1, The Big Fat Surprise by Nina Tichos. Can't pronounce that one right for sure. One of the most worrisome books out today is The Big Fat Surprise by Nina, who is eagerly asserting that butter, meat, and cheese should stay in her diet and yours. The argument, I could stop right there, and know that I don't even need to read anymore. But the argument is with Eskimos and populations to the far north, the idea that their diets have traditionally been heavy in fish and blubber, but they have almost no heart disease. However, this notion turns out to be a myth. Recent studies in Canadian Journal of Cardiology revealed that natives of these northern areas have heart disease and stroke rates that are as bad or worse than those non-natives, and their life expectancy is 10 years shorter. So obviously she got a hold of some false information, and then she's writing a book to share more of this false information to somebody else. And see, this is one of the problems that we have in society today, is the domino effect. I've talked about fragmentation, where, we're fragmentized by all these little itty bitty, fragment, we start believing it. But the domino effect is just as bad. And where the domino effect comes into play, I don't know if any of you know who Deepak Das is. Deepak Das was the one that discovered that wine has antioxidant value. Now, we all know wine has antioxidant value, right? Not so. Okay. Deepak Das was the one that discovered that. And
Let me just go to Wikipedia here. Deepak Das was the one that discovered wine had antioxidant value. And out of his, let me share this with you real quick here. Let's see if they have it here. How many? Here, right here. His research appeared on over 500 articles, including 117 articles on resveratrol, which is talking about the antioxidant value in wine. So hundreds of articles that were written about his discovery. Those articles were domino effect into hundreds of other articles. And out of those hundreds of other articles, which have their findings on them, all coming from Deepak Das, thousands of other people wrote their articles. And of course, if you see validation after validation after validation, now you've got backup proof and backup proof for your stories. And then thousands of other people wrote their articles based on those articles, and it went all over the news. Every news station was putting this information out there, how wine had antioxidant value, and the whole world realized that wine has antioxidant value. The problem is Deepak Das was falsifying his information and lied about everything. He was fired. And right here, data, falsifying investigation. He falsified his information. And before he died last year, I think it was in 2003 maybe. Yeah, it was 2003, a couple of years ago. He admitted that the antioxidant value that's in the grapes is not in the wine, and that the alcoholic content of the wine actually kills any antioxidant value that's in the grape. So, but yet thousands of people are still out there using all this information from this domino effect. And the science, I mean, they sent out notifications saying that, yes, these studies are wrong. They have been falsified. Even CBS did a story about this, saying, no, there is no antioxidant value in wine. But yet the domino effect continues. There's so much strength that it's going to go on for years and years and years with people believing the lie. This is what happens. This is the domino effect that I'm talking about. Even on Google, the definition of resveratrol is a compound found in certain plants and in red wine that has antioxidant properties. So here's even definitions in encyclopedias and dictionaries that claim red wine has antioxidant value when it doesn't. Because there's so many falsifications out there that came from one lie. But this is what happens out there. This is what I talk about. But so here we go again with the health message here when it comes to food, that she probably got this false information and seen it enough times out there and said, well, it must be true, even though it's not. So, all right, that's number one. We better keep going here. I got so much information to get through, and we're probably going to go overtime on this one today, but I love it because I love getting into the depth of knowledge. This is the kind of information that you need to learn to help you get healthier. So, number two on the books not to read is Grain Brain by David Perlmutter. And another one I would add to that would be Wheat Belly. Another one of those truths mingled with lies type of books that are out there. And flat out telling you to eat meats and cheeses and things like that, which we know are the causes of all different types of diseases. In fact, here, Dr. Perlmutter completely ignores the fact that the cultures following traditional grain-based diets are the thinnest and healthiest in the world. Japan, case in point, and the list goes on and on. The world statistics for good health, and as far as meat and cheese began to displace the rice, and the waistline started to decline. So once again, here comes these books that people are probably getting partial information out there and not really doing their homework, but then people believe it. Hey, it's in a book. It's by a doctor. Number three here, The Fast Diet by Michael Mosley, MD, another doctor with a fast diet. Okay. Let's see. The book claims that you can become healthier by eating anything you want 5 days a week and eat a severely restricted calorie diet the other 2. Even if this extreme diet may initially cause weight loss in some people, that doesn't mean it's healthy. Losing weight through extreme calorie restriction starves the body of nutrients and can increase cravings of junk food. And yeah, anything like this is just ridiculous. Recommending to eat chicken wings and cheeseburgers. I mean, come on. And this is a doctor. People are actually going to believe this because it came from a doctor. And what happens a lot when it comes to these type of books is that people want to justify their unhealthy lifestyles. So if they can find something to justify their unhealthy lifestyles, boom, I got it, I can believe it, I can proclaim it, even though it's not true. Number 4, The Blood Sugar Solution by Mark Hyman, MD. So here's a medical doctor, lays out a diet for people struggling with high blood pressure and diabetes. But the plan he lays out could actually increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and cancers and heart disease and Alzheimer's. His idea is that eating out in restaurants and eating packaged foods is what has caused our nation's health crisis. He says that real food is the key to solving our problems, throwing around the phrase in almost every paragraph, but what is real food? His definition of real food includes eggs loaded with cholesterol and chicken, which is packed with fat and linked to diseases, and fish and high cholesterols and toxins. And this is a doctor. This is a doctor telling you this. And people have got to learn that type 2 diabetes is not a carb problem. It's not a sugar problem. It's a fat problem. And all these doctors that I'm talking about, the Elite 8 that I'm going to bring up here, they all know that you eliminate the fats and type 2 diabetes goes away. He's telling you to consume something that causes type 2 diabetes. These doctors nowadays just don't know. They haven't been taught in school. They haven't done their studies, but yet people believe them because it says MD behind their name. And it's a sad situation. That's why I'm here to give you that wake-up call and really show you the truth and filter through all these deceptions that are out there. Book number 5, Beyond Bacon. Okay, by Stacy Toth and Matthew McCary. And okay, so you can have bacon cupcakes, bacon deodorant, bacon mouthwash, and you're going to be fine. The focus on high cholesterol. Here we go. The focus on high cholesterol, fatty meats. The paleo trend is such a health hazard. And this is what they're promoting. And people just don't understand. But here we go again. This is another one of those books that says, hey, if I can eat healthy, if I can eat bacon on my diet, that's the kind of book I want. We need to set ourselves aside, set our desires aside, set our passions aside, and seek truth. And, God will give you that truth. I mean, pray for discernment. I've talked about it over and over again. So here's a conclusion. As diet books and cookbooks become more extreme and latch onto dangerous trends, it is important to remember that the healthiest diet is not a fad at all. It's nothing new or complicated. It's based on what we've always known about nutrition and health. Not surprisingly, the best approach to eat a variety of healthful, disease-fighting fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes every day of the week. It's really that simple. And so this is actually Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. These people go to Washington, D.C. They're from Washington, D.C., and they really are orchestrating this through, more intelligent places to get this intelligent information. So that's what it's about. Now, when we come back, I'm going to give you my Elite 8 doctors that really know the information that I'm talking about. They're my go-to guys when it comes to health. And so let's go hit another cooking clip, and then we'll come back. Or else I'm going to run out of cooking clips, so you're not going to get any today. And then we'll come back and go through the Elite 8 doctors that you need to know. Well, what do you think?
Listen, folks. Mark and I love butternut squash, and we love fall squashes of all kind. And there's only a certain time of year you can really buy these wonderful, fresh, grown butternut squashes and fall squashes. But we wanted to do something a little bit different. So we were just standing in the kitchen thinking, what can we do besides the normal?
Yeah.
Mark and I never do the normal. And we said, why not go a Mexican style? Because we love Mexican food.
Exactly.
And Mark had said, why not some tofutti sour cream? Because this
Well,
is a product we love.
Right, that was the ticket. We said, you know, everybody's doing stuffed butternut squashes and stuff. In fact, grab those butternut squashes there, and I'll show
Sure.
you what I did. I cooked these in the oven. It was a whole butternut squash at 350 degrees for 1 hour. And then I let it cool. And then I cut it in half and hollowed out the inside. Now, the one thing I did was I tried to make sure that the inside pieces had body to it, so there's bigger pieces.
You got some texture.
If you pull that out while it's all hot, it's just going to turn into mashed potatoes. So you want it to cool, tighten up, and then you're going to have these big pieces.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looks good. So what we're going to do now, Mark, since you've got that
Kick it
going
up.
and hot, how about if I'm saying maybe what, about a half a cup of sour cream?
Yes, and this is the ultimate secret. And I saw it in my head. It was like, whoa! You know, who would have ever thought of putting sour cream in a butternut squash? And then Melody says, well, why don't we add some beans and corn and rice and make it a Southwest style? And I was like, yeah, that's
I mean, it looks good like this right now.
Yeah,
that
look
looks
at that.
Rich.
Look at that. That
That
is
looks
just
rich.
absolutely spectacular.
I'm loving it. I love the look of that.
So you can just add whatever you want to add, however much you need to
well,
add.
that's what hey, this is a brand new recipe that we're trying right here. That's probably about a half a cup, Mark. Do you like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
a cup at the most. That's about a cup maybe.
About a cup?
Yeah.
I want to give, that's beautiful corn that Miss Brenda had frozen this year.
Yeah, we actually did a segment on that. We did that.
We did
yes.
it too,
Yep.
yes. Fresh, I love
And
the
now
black
you're
beans.
coloring it up. Now we're going to color it up a little bit. And you can tell I'm just kind of folding it. I'm not
You're not stirring it, mushing it up.
because I want that to not be mashed potatoes. And what's that?
Cilantro,
The
fresh
cilantro,
cilantro.
right.
And you know, Mark, I'm thinking also about just a little bit of lemon.
That's going
fresh
to give you a
lemon.
little salt enhancement. And citrus kind of goes with Southwest and
Southwest.
quite a few different things.
Do you want salsa in there, Mark, or on the top? Taste it. Let's taste
Oh,
it.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That tastes good. I like that. Very mellow.
Oh, here we go. Slide all that aside. Let's put this down here. Grab me that salsa.
I have a
And
feeling I
instead
know
of
what
putting
he's
it on
going
the
to do.
top, we're just going to lace the bottom with it. And it's going to give them that little surprise at the end of the day, huh?
Oh,
How's that
love
sound?
It. Love it, love it.
Okay, let me put this in here real quick. Nice and easy. We're just going to plop this in here. This is how you invent in the kitchen on the fly because
Folks, that's what it's all about, going to a different level. You know, most people have like 7 basic recipes that they use, but there's so many different foods that you love. So just experiment with your food. Make it your own.
yeah, when Melody came over today, I said, I got a butternut squash in the oven. We're going to have to do something with it.
Look
Didn't
what
even
we
have a
did.
real recipe or anything.
No, but look what we did with that
Yeah.
recipe. And everybody always puts cheese on the top, melts everything in it. But what we did is we just took the sour cream and infused it.
Because this is extremely low fat.
Sure it is. That corn, it's almost a sweet, but it's not. The lemon just balanced it, I think.
And I think that you could probably sprinkle a little right on the top. And
You know, Mark talks, I think Mark talks.
absolute mind reader. Yeah. And if you wanted, I would do this at the end. We might do a little salsa sprinkle on the end for
I
looks.
would too.
But I don't think we need to do it right now. Let's put this in the oven. Probably only going to take about 20, 30 minutes. I'd crank it up to about 375. So we're just kind of toasting the top because everything
Sure,
else is already
everything's
cooked.
baked. Okay, good.
And then
All right.
we'll be back. All right, Melody, I am so excited about this.
About how many minutes has that been in there, you think, Mark?
Oh, just 20, 25
minutes?
minutes. 20 minutes, yeah. And all I'm doing, I just give it a little browning on the top.
Oh my goodness, that looks so pretty. I can just see the salsa over the top of it. Hang on.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. Whoop. Okay, they're hot.
Oh!
I'm gonna spin this baby around. And give me room for another one right here.
Here's another one. You want salsa?
That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Now that is just plain gorgeous. Look at that.
Our weapons.
Are we supposed to eat this before they take a beauty shot?
Are we
Sorry.
supposed to?
Camera crew, you're just going to have to get it out of the editing.
I bet they're, yeah, you know what? They're sitting there thinking, when are we going to get a bite? You two get to eat everything.
I know their mouths are watering over. That's really good.
I like the corn in it.
The sour cream makes it, totally makes it. And you could run with this in 100 different ways. You know, and that's what we do a lot here. We teach a lot of concepts. We want to teach you the concept, and then you can run with it. And I love the sour cream in here.
I do
And
too.
I think you could go with 50 different flavors.
I think you could too. And I think it needs just a little dollop of sour cream right there on the top, don't you?
And the sour cream and even heat. It could actually
yeah.
get more
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
like
spicy heat.
Like a chipotle, some kind of. Well, you're going to get that when you get to the bottom.
Right. There you go.
Ooh. This is a
Look
good
what
one.
we created in literally 5 minutes, just out of thin air.
Just thinking.
And you can do the same thing at home.
That's right, you can. Enjoy
There you
it.
go.
Try this recipe. It'll be out on the website, so if you want to go out there and get it, you can get it. Make
And
it
I'm
your
just going to enjoy this one.
own.
We'll see you next time in the kitchen.
Goodbye. Hi. Hi, Melody Prettyman here from The Whole Message with your health tip of the day. Today, the banana. Low in calories, high in potassium, great for your complex carbohydrate, vitamin C, even protein in the simple banana. Whether you eat yours frozen for an ice cream, or you use it in a smoothie, or even in one of your baked breads, don't forget the banana. Remember, you're always just one bite away from good health.
All right, we're back with the Elite Eight. And let me tell you, I've got the doctors here that you need to listen to. They're doctors, so now you can believe them, right? No, but do your homework and you will realize that these doctors are one of the few doctors that have their act together. So anyway, Neil Bernard, love this guy. He's, I think he's over in California right now. And he was part of the he is part of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. There's a huge group of doctors there, and he was heading it up for quite a few years. But he's got books, Power Food for the Brain, 21-Day Weight Loss Kickstart, which is a kickstart, okay, not a we will change your life in 21 days, or we will change your life in 3 days. This is the kickstart to continue living this lifestyle. So it's a really good book. And the Get Healthy, Go Vegan, haven't read that one. I have read this one, Dr. Neil Bernard's Program for Reversing Diabetes. Once again, here he goes, talking about a low-fat vegan diet. And that's what helps patients. It's not the blood sugar. It helps the blood sugar. Low-fat diet, okay, is the solution for type 2 diabetes. And all these doctors on my Elite 8 know that. So he's got quite a few books. These are the books to read, okay? We talked about the books not to read. These are the books you want to read. Dr. Neil Bernard. Number 2 on my Elite 8 is Dr. McDougall. I talk about him all the time. Go up here and get his newsletter. Just sign up for the free newsletter. Click on that, and you'll get a monthly newsletter from him. This guy does his homework. There's doctors that present, and then there's doctors that do their homework. And after you really study them, you know which ones do their homework. And this is probably one of the top 2 or 3 doctors that really does their homework. The Starch Solution by Dr. McDougall. This is the one we're reading now. My wife's got it on the iPad. I need the hardcover, though. I like the hardcovers because I can put notes and things in it. Works better for me. Dr. McDougall's Digestive Tune-Up. And then he's got some cookbooks, too. And I think his wife's name was Mary, if I remember right. Doesn't have her name on anything here. Mary McDougall. So haven't tried any of their recipes, so I'm not sure how good they are. Usually I'm not getting the cookbooks from other people. Maybe I need to start doing that and compare them. So, but anyway, Dr.10 T. Colin Campbell, which is the China study. That's T. Colin Campbell. He got paid by the Chinese government to write this and do the studies, which it took years and years and years because they were wondering why certain demographics of culture in China were healthy and ones were unhealthy. And it all came down to which ones were consuming dairy products and milk and cheese and meats and which ones weren't. And so this is a massively in-depth facts. There's statistical facts that can be manipulated, and then there's statistical facts of history which cannot be changed. And it is what it is, and this one has the facts that are irrefutable. It is what it is. So great book, Center for Nutritional Studies. So T. Colin Campbell, another go-to person. Joel Fuhrman, and he's on a lot of the mainstream networks out there. I've seen him a few times, and great, powerful message that he puts out there. And he's got a few books. Eat to Live, I have read that one. I haven't read The End of Dieting yet, but Eat to Live is a fabulous book. I think it's a millions bestseller, if I remember right. New York Times, bestseller list, over 1 million copies. I knew that. So some of these guys, I already know their information before I'm even giving it to you. So Dr. Fuhrman's part of my Elite 8. Dr. Esselstyn is part of my Elite 8. The only book I've read, it might be one of his only books, is the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And just a great book, which has all the information you need about heart disease. And I've actually worked with him. No, it was his son. You might know Rip Esselstyn. He wrote the Engine 2 Diet. Did an event with him a few years ago. Rip Esselstyn is a fireman down in Texas who took his entire fire department and transformed their lives by putting them on these vegan lifestyles, and they all lost weight and gained muscle and endurance, and just a miracle story about this fire department down there. And I think he was doing all the cooking because it's got a lot of recipes in it too. And now they've got his food in some of the grocery stores. Whole Foods has where you can get the prepackaged burgers from the Engine 2 Diet. So nice to see some little thing like that take off. But yeah, definitely Esselstyn's part of my Elite 8 here. Next one is Dean Ornish, medical doctor, and he's got some really good books here. You'll see him around a lot of different talk shows and things like that. He's got a column and different things. The Spectrum, that's a good book. Love and Survival, he's got a couple of these 8 pathways to intimacy in health and some things like that. Reversing Heart Disease, once again. Everyday Cooking, of course I haven't seen that one yet. Stress and Diet, Eat More, Weigh Less. So he's got a pretty good selection of books there, and videos too. So, but Dean Ornish is definitely knows more about inspiring people to eat well, live well, do well, and be well than anyone on the planet. As Frank Sinatra once told me, live each day like it's your last, and one day you'll be right. Quincy Jones. Got a little quote from Quincy. Okay, cool. So Dean Ornish is another one. Hans Diehl. Now Hans Diehl, I've done a few events with him. He's part of the CHIP program, the Complete Health Improvement Project, which is all over the world. They've had hundreds of thousands of people go through their program. A little expensive, runs about $300 to $400, I think, but it comes with blood tests and books, and really is 12 or 14 weeks, a real in-depth, takes a commitment. And I talked to Hans here a few years ago, and he told me, he says, I could charge less for these programs, but people would not be as committed to them. And which made a lot of sense to me because, I do my events all over the country. Just did our 1,000th event. Have never charged anybody anything. Don't charge people for attending. Don't charge the organizations. And but when people have to put their money out, especially $300 or $400 for a program, they're going to have a stronger commitment to follow through with the program. And then they're going to be able to see better results. So there is a real significance to charging people for these types of things. But I've just never had to do that. So I kind of do my thing. He does his. But his has a far success rate that will never be touched, because people are committed, serious about changing their lives. Fabulous thing he's doing, just fabulous. And my last one is Michael Greger, and he used to be part of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and then he just recently went over to Nutritional Facts. And by all means, if you can go to Nutritional Facts and sign up for their articles and newsletters, which they send out every couple days, and sometimes it's a real scientific depth of knowledge. Sometimes it has too much scientific information. We've actually got their permission to air whatever they produce on our programs. So we've got written permission from them. So we'll probably start airing little clips. But sometimes it's way over my head. They're talking about this, that, and I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But most of it he puts in such a common sense way that you can understand it, and which is nice. But usually it's just flipping screens. He's doing screenshots as he's talking to the mic. But great information, hands down, great information. Yeah, Nutritional Facts. If I can click over there, boom, there you go. You got all your videos and clips, whatever you want there. So that's it. That's my Elite 8. And let me tell you, these are the doctors, scientists, professors that know their stuff. So if you're telling me that there's people out there that just don't know this, they're everywhere. And there's more and more doctors that are realizing that they did not learn what they should have learned in college. And I'm telling you, the number of doctors that knew the health message 30 years ago was this many. 10 years ago, it was this many. And nowadays, there's this many doctors that know how this vegan, plant-strong lifestyle, the original diet that God created, is the healthiest lifestyle on the planet. And if you want to live your life to its fullest abundance, then you got to get a healthier lifestyle. And I'm telling you, that's what I do. I have a passion. I mean, I've lost 75 pounds. I got another 25 to go, but I have never felt better. And it's all because of changing my lifestyle. And I have the best food. I eat good all the time. I probably eat too much, but, and I have a passion. This is my passion, to help you realize that you can change your life just the way God has changed mine by giving me this health message. I want to share it with you and all your friends and family, and we can all get healthy together. I was in the worst shape. I was probably one of the worst, most unhealthy people you'd ever imagine. And I just feel like every day is a gift, because I probably shouldn't even be here today because I was so unhealthy. And if I hadn't changed my life, who knows, I might not be here today. So I feel like every day is a gift, and every day is an opportunity to help somebody else change their lifestyle, just as God has helped me change mine. So anyway, I think we might have time for another clip. I went way overboard on this one today, but this is the valuable information that you need to have to help you get healthy and filter through all this garbage that's out there. I mean, there's a massive amount of deception out there. There's massive amounts of just misinformation. And I filter through all this to give you those health messages that you really need. And that's the passion. So anyway, let's get going, because we've got plenty more shows, and you can watch them on YouTube and the websites and things like that as well. Let's get to that clip, and we'll catch you in the kitchen.
What are you cooking?
Well, Melody, let me tell you. I'm actually going to do a stuffed cabbage,
Okay.
and this one's going to be Italian style.
Are you talking about the ones where you roll up the cabbage leaves and they're cooked and you put a stuff and put them in the oven? And
That's where you take these and cook them and
Yes,
then roll them.
yes.
No. I actually hollowed out a cabbage. Take a look at that.
look at this. Wow. Oh, wait, there's still a part left in there.
Oh, good. Glad you caught that.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we're not steaming this?
No. The last one I did a program a year ago or so.
Okay.
That was a Mexican style, and I called it a stuffed
Yum.
piñata.
Stuff in.
Yeah, and
I like that.
So,
like that.
But what you got to do here is you got to cook whatever stuffing you want in here. And right here, I've got some rice. I've got some white and green onions, some celery, and some bell peppers in here.
I noticed
and
some
some
little
quinoa.
Quinoa and
Right. So you can kind of put whatever
Yum.
you want. And what I did was, I mean, I really loaded this with water.
Okay.
And so basically this rice is extremely saturated. And I just kept it going until the water reduced to where it's right now, which is nothing. And
Now-
then we're gonna add some of that marinara to
How
it.
much oil did you put in there, Mark?
None. Yeah, you don't need any for this recipe.
That.
Yeah, so. And let's see if that's gonna be enough. You think that'll be enough? A little more.
A little more.
Because you want this extremely wet.
Okay.
And I think that might be not just right.
Oh, I could just so eat that. And we're talking about a product that is fat-free, low in sodium, because you're only using what sodium's here in the sauce, right?
Right, I'm not adding any other salt and pepper or anything. This is one of those simple recipes. Boom, 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 you're done. Takes a little while to hollow this baby out, but, and then the insides, we can always make a cabbage coleslaw or put it on salads.
Oh, yeah, so we're not
So-
wasting.
And then I'm gonna go right inside with this. Okay. And that's why you want it extremely wet, because this moisture is gonna seep out of there, and it's going to have to add more moisture because the whole product's gonna catch it.
Mark, do we cover this with anything, or we just put it in the oven like this?
Well, actually cover it with this.
Okay.
And you wanna make sure you use hot, not cold, because if the ingredients going into this cold, it takes forever to
Forever.
cook and it just
Okay.
doesn't cook right.
All right.
But we're gonna put it like that, like this, and you can put this in the oven for about an hour,
Okay.
and then for about the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, I'm gonna set this in here, and then that'll just go on top for looks.
Oh, nice.
But this helps keep it from getting overcooked on the top. And we'll
Okay.
put it on about 350.
Okay.
And
So
it
we're
should
gonna
be
put it
fine.
in the oven, come back, and show you what's done.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Let's do it.
Get it? I just love it when he gets food out of the oven because I know I get to taste it. Oh, Mark, that thing is beautiful. Okay.
Now, remember this piece I put on the top?
Yes, yes.
Because I didn't want to get that all
Crispy
crunchy like
and
this.
okay, but
And-
this is the piece
That I put in there
later.
Like, yeah, and it's cooked.
Okay.
People
I
are
see
like,
that.
how can you pick that up? I mean, look at that, it's steaming hot right out of the oven.
I know his hands are.
Okay,
They're used to it.
see if we can. There we go. I'm telling you, this is so cool.
You could do
And
one
then
of
you
those
put that on there.
scary shows. Ha ha ha.
Boom. So that's the way you would serve it.
That's the way you would serve it.
Now, isn't that gorgeous?
It is pretty.
You know, a lot of the food, it seems like the sloppier it is, the harder it is to eat, the more fun it is to eat. You ever notice that?
I do.
Well, this is one of those things. It's like, well, how do we eat this thing?
Yeah.
And you can, you know, sit there and just
You can
scoop
dig
it
it
out
out,
or whatever.
but-
I'm gonna run a slice through it.
Good. Okay.
Now, I would not normally do this until this thing is cooled down for at least 10, 15 minutes.
Right, because
But
it's going
for
to.
time, we're just gonna
You want me to pull
crank
this
it
off?
out here. And I can even pull this piece off right here.
Right.
And
Oh, that cabbage smells so good, Mark.
just because this might just fall completely apart. Just because you are
Not bad.
not cooled down yet.
Not too
But
bad.
I think you can get the concept, huh? Like that.
Nice.
Huh? Is that hot or
Nice.
what?
And if they have any leftover marinara sauce, they could just pour over the top.
Right, right. Yeah, you can run with this in many ways. And just like if you haven't seen the one for my piñata, my Mexican piñata, same type of thing.
Sure.
You can put whatever flavors you want in here. You want to do turmeric flavors. You can go with an India type of style. There's so many things you can do with this, and it's just fast, easy, boom, boom, boom. Just hollow them out.
Ooh, that has really good flavor.
Yeah. And use whatever sauces you want, whatever. It's just one of those easy recipes.
Nice, nice. Oh, we did it again. Another good flavor. We're gonna have to go eat this, so I think we need to say goodbye.
We have to go hit the health club.
Yeah.
Get ourselves a workout after
Yeah,
this
there
one.
you go. I'm
So-
gonna work out at the table.
You can eat good food. And actually, this is very low calorie,
Oh, yeah.
extremely healthy for you. It doesn't have a lot of weight gain.
We
to
didn't
it.
even put any oil in it.
But hit the health club too. At least
Sure.
go out and do some walking every day. If you can walk 1 or 5 miles a day, you are going to be so much happier. You're going to feel better.
You will.
Your muscles are going to get strength. Helps reverse type 2 diabetes, things like that. So,
Sure it does.
amen.
Yes.
I think you're happy.
I am.
Anything else?
Goodbye.
Bye
We're
bye.
gonna go
We'll
eat.
see you next time in the kitchen.
always yummy, always yummy. I get hungry every time I get on the set
Yeah.
because I know we're going to be cooking.
Oh, wait till you get smell-o-vision. Taste-o-vision.
You know what? I just have a feeling that's coming.
Probably,
Everything else is out there. Well, that's good.
Yeah, then what they had years ago on Star Trek, and people are like, oh, that's just silly, and now it's like we all have cell phones, we all have things that
Oh, I
yeah,
remember that. Do you remember the first big phone, that huge bag phone? Now they're the smaller, but they've come back up in size.
getting
again.
bigger.
Everybody's wanting the big ones.
They want the
again.
screen.
Yeah, always something new. When I get a new cell phone when I have to.
Yeah, here's the new cell phone.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Is that you? Well, hang on a second. Let me. That's good. That's gonna be the size of the new cell phone.
I know.
So,
That's the truth.
yeah. So anyway, we've got the Simply Yummy cookbook available. All of our books are available on the website.
You've got some too right there. Vegan
Yep.
Simplicity. And
Yeah.
both you, I mean, this big
Good
book
books.
that you did, Mark. Oh,
Working on a couple other ones too.
yes,
So
yes. Always working on them. Keep us posted about what you think of our program, something you might want to see us do on our program, recipes, information about recipes. You might have seen us cook something and you tried it in the kitchen, you add something to it and you wanted to tell us about it.
yeah.
Give us a call or send us an email. The information's always on the screen, so please give us a call.
But yeah, and that's our job, is to keep us on the cutting edge
Yes.
of healthy cooking is a no-brainer for us, and we always want to come up with new strategies and concepts, but also keeping you on the cutting edge of the health and the intelligent side of cooking,
Yep.
and the intelligent side of eating, the intelligent side of living a better life. So
There's something about
Yeah.
that intelligent living.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
Smart living, intelligent living.
intelligent living.
Yeah.
Intelligent life from other planets, something like that.
Well, they probably don't eat like we eat here on this
Yeah.
planet, so they're all healthy.
Could be. Maybe
Could
they
be.
don't eat each other. Yeah. So
Anyway,
that's the
hey,
craziness.
you guys,
Yeah.
you come back and visit us the next time on The Whole Message, where normally it's Mark and Melody here. Sometimes one of us isn't here. We're just kind of checked out, which is me today, I think.
Yeah, Mark is on assignment. Melody is on assignment. That's what they say when you're on vacation, right?
We're on assignment.
That's
We're
on
always on
assignment.
assignment. Anyway,
Yeah.
you guys come back and see us.